Uh, this is the symbol that we prefer in order to indicate trees. And you can easily see why we prefer this. I don't know if this is a real picture or a photoshopped version, something like this. But this is what we are basically doing. We are sending rays from the top of the object so that we can have a projection on a horizontal plane. And this is what we call the orthographic projection here. We can either look from the top or from the down or from the side of the objects, from front and the side of the objects. But there is a problem here. We need to do this because, as you can remember from our first lecture or the one that we did last week, we need to do this. We need to use this orthogonal projection method because we need the true sizes. And if we use other types of projections, there can be size differences, like the central projection type. There can be size differences, and we cannot be able to make this projection for production of these objects that we are designing or drawing. However, this causes a very important problem. With each view, like just imagine that you don't see this actual view, the actual object itself. You are just you don't see this. You are just looking at its projections. And when you see the upper view, the first projection, you will notice that it resembles like an edge. However, when you look at the system from the front, when you are trying to see the frontal view, you notice that it resembles an M. And on the left side projection, you get a T. They are all both true. However, none of them are the object itself. So we have to use this orthogonal projection, but using just this type of projection can be misleading, there can be misunderstandings. So we sometimes we need to back this type of projection with the other types of projections so that we can give both information together with the actual views and the object itself. Let's see the types of these projections one more time. Let's start with the definition. Is a technique or a process which is used to transform a 3D object into a 2D plane. The main problem with this image is that we are trying to express a 3D object in a 2D image, or we need to convert the 2D images into a 3D object itself. This is the main problem here. So we can either have a parallel projection or a perspective projection. With the parallel projection, we know that the projectors, let's say the rays, the vision rays or the sun rays, whatever you call it, they are parallel to each other. We send rays of vision or sun to get the image, to get the projection of this object on a plane, projection plane. And in this type of the projection, the projectors, the rays are parallel to each other. However, in the perspective projection type, we use rays that originate from a central point of view so that there is a size difference. That's the reason of the size difference. If the projection plane is between the object and the center, here we get a smaller image than its true size. If the projection plane is behind the object, then we will get a bigger image. And let's go with the other types of parallel projection. we can have an orthographic or oblique projection. Still, all the projectors are parallel to each other, but there's a difference between these two types. In the orthographic projection, rays are perpendicular to the projection plane. However, in the oblique projection, they are not perpendicular to the projection plane, but they are still parallel to each other. So if you position the object, let's say we have this cube here, parallel to the projection plane and send rays that are parallel to each other and perpendicular to the projection plane, you will have an orthographic projection. If you position your object and the projection plane like this and send rays that are parallel to each other, however inclined to the projection plane, you will get an image of the object like this. In the orthographic type, we can have a multi-view or an axonometric projection. In the multi-view projection type, the projection plane is parallel to the planes of the object. This is what we just discussed. And in our 7th exercise, this is what we did. This is called a multi-view projection because on the Epirov-Monge, we draw the upper view, the frontal view, and the left side view by using this orthographic multi-view projection technique. We know that all the rays are parallel to each other and perpendicular to the projection plane, and we placed our system of objects again in a position that they were perpendicular to the horizontal projection plane. They were parallel to horizontal projection plane and perpendicular to the other planes. So this is a multi-view. However, in the axonometric view, the projection plane is not parallel to planes of the object. I am still using rays that are parallel to each other and perpendicular to the projection plane. However, the planes, the surfaces of my object are not parallel to the projection plane. It is in an inclined position, and when I send these rays, I will get a different projection than the oblique and the multi-view. I can have 3 different types of axonometric projection. This is the difference between these 3 types are the angles. In the isometric projection, because of the position of my object and the projection plane, I will create an image that has 3 equal angles here. In the dimetric type, I will have a position so that at the end, the image will have 2 equal angles with a different angle. And in the trimetric projection type, all the angles of the object will be different from each other. These are the 3 most common types of axonometric projection. In the oblique projection, I can have a cavalier or a cabinet projection. In the cavalier, as you can remember here, my object and the projection plane are parallel to each other. However, the rays that I use, they are parallel to each other, but they are not perpendicular to the projection plane. So that I will have a cavalier and a cabinet projection type. In the cavalier projection, I will get an image that has all true sizes of the object. The sizes of the image are equal to the sizes of its actual object. In the cabinet projection, one side is the half length of the true size. This size here will be the half length, and the other sizes, the other lengths, are the true lengths. We can have a parallel projection, and it is divided into orthographic and oblique projection types. In the orthographic projection, I can have a multi-view or an axonometric. The axonometric can be divided in three as isometric, dimetric, and trimetric. The oblique projection can be in cavalier or cabinet format. Let's look at the perspective projection here. I can have three options, 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, and 3-point perspective here. The main difference between the parallel and non-parallel projection are the position of the rays. If they are parallel to each other, I can have all these types of projection according to position of my object and the projection plane. However, in the perspective, I know that these rays are not parallel to each other. They are originating from a central point here.